Aaron was not the kind of person who liked noise. He had lived in the alien city for almost 2 years now, and every day it still amazed him how crowded and loud it was. The streets above were filled with voices in many languages, glowing signs flashing across tall towers, and machines moving endlessly through the air. For a human like him, it was exciting but also tiring. He worked as a technician, fixing energy lines that powered entire districts. It was not glamorous work, but it was steady, and he liked the quiet moments when he was alone in the tunnels beneath the city. One evening, his shift had gone longer than usual. A section of the lower district had lost power, and Aaron was sent into the service tunnels to find the fault. The tunnels were old, filled with cables, pipes, and strange alien stone that hummed softly with energy. His light cut through the darkness, bouncing against wet walls. As he followed the cables deeper, he noticed something unusual. There was a small opening in the side of the tunnel wall, half hidden behind fallen debris. At first, he thought it was just another maintenance shaft, but when he looked closer, he saw smooth steps carved into the stone, leading down into darkness. It was not on any map he carried. Aaron paused. He knew he should report it, but his curiosity grew stronger. Something about the hidden stairs called to him, as if they had been waiting for someone to notice them. Taking a careful breath, he decided to take a look. He set his repair tools aside, kept only his light, and stepped through the narrow opening. The air changed as he descended. It became warmer, damp, and heavy with a faint smell of minerals. His footsteps echoed softly, and the further he went, the quieter the world above seemed, until all he could hear was the sound of his own breathing. The steps curved downward, deeper and deeper, until the tunnel opened into a vast chamber. Aaron stopped in awe. Before him stretched a cavern filled with soft mist and glowing crystals that clung to the walls. Their light reflected across pools of water spread throughout the chamber. The air shimmered with steam, and the surface of the pools rippled gently, as though they were alive. It was not a machine-made place, not part of the city's planned systems. This was something older, something hidden and sacred. He walked slowly inside, feeling the warm air against his skin. The floor was smooth stone, worn down as if many feet had walked here long ago. The pools were arranged in circles, each one glowing faintly from the crystals above. The sound of dripping water echoed around him, calming and steady. "This can't be real," Aaron whispered to himself. He had never seen anything like it. He crouched near one of the pools and dipped his fingers into the water. It was warm, almost soothing, as if it carried energy of its own. He felt a strange peace wash over him, unlike anything he had known in the city above. But even as he admired the beauty of the hidden bathhouse, a thought pressed into his mind. If others discovered this place, they would not leave it untouched. The city authorities might drain the water, use the crystals for power, or close the cavern completely. Aaron realized that maybe the reason it had stayed hidden for so long was because someone wanted to protect it. The mist curled around him like a living thing, and for the first time in years, Aaron felt silence, not the empty silence of abandoned tunnels, but a peaceful kind that seemed to welcome him. He sat down on the stone floor for a while, letting the warmth of the cavern sink into him. He should have gone back to finish his repairs, but something in his heart told him this discovery was only the beginning. The hidden entrance, the secret bathhouse, and the glowing pool seemed to whisper that his life was about to change. Aaron did not know it yet, but he was not alone. Aaron sat quietly near the glowing pools, his mind still trying to understand what he had found. The cavern felt ancient, almost like it belonged to another world hidden beneath the alien city. He dipped his hand in the water again, watching the ripples spread out in soft circles. Everything about this place was peaceful, but there was also a strange feeling that he was not supposed to be here. He stood up slowly, looking around. The mist swirled in the air, moving as though it was alive. The crystals on the walls pulsed with faint light, casting shadows that shifted with every drop of water that fell from the ceiling. Aaron adjusted the light on his wrist, but suddenly he froze. There was movement across the chamber. At first, he thought it was just mist drifting through the air, but then a figure stepped into view. Through the steam, he saw someone standing near one of the far pools. Aaron's heart jumped. He had not expected anyone to be here. He took a careful step back, trying not to make a sound, but the stone floor betrayed him. His foot scraped against the surface, and the sound echoed across the cavern. The figure turned. Aaron held his breath. It was a woman, though not human. Her skin shimmered faintly, silver with a soft glow under the light of the crystals. Her eyes were large, reflecting the pools like twin lanterns, and her long dark hair flowed behind her, damp from the mist. She wore simple robes, light and flowing, as though they were made from water itself. For a moment, neither of them moved. They only stared at each other, the silence heavy between them. "You," her voice was calm but carried surprise. "A human?" Aaron swallowed and nodded slowly. "Yes. I didn't know anyone was here. I didn't mean to intrude." The woman tilted her head slightly, her glowing eyes studying him. "This place is not known to your kind. How did you find it?" "I was repairing energy lines," Aaron explained, his voice a little shaky. "There was a gap in the tunnels. I followed the steps, and I ended up here." He hesitated, then added, "I'm sorry. If I shouldn't be here, I can leave." The woman was quiet for a long moment, as if weighing his words. Finally, she shook her head gently. "Few ever find this place. Perhaps it is not chance that brought you here." Aaron blinked, surprised by her response. "What is this place?" he asked softly. She stepped closer, her bare feet making no sound on the stone floor. "It is a sanctuary," she said. "Long ago, my people built this bathhouse deep under the city. It is a place of healing, where water and crystal work together to calm the spirit. It is not meant for many eyes. Only those who respect silence and peace can enter." Aaron felt a strange respect grow inside him. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." The woman's expression softened, as if his words pleased her. "My name is Nira," she said at last. "I'm Aaron," he replied. He hesitated again, then asked, "Do you come here often?" Nira looked toward the pools, her silver skin reflecting the glowing water. "Yes. It is a place where I can be free from the noise above. My people believe the water carries memory, and the crystals carry strength. Together, they heal what the outside world cannot." Aaron listened carefully, fascinated. He had always thought of tunnels as places for machines and wires, but here was something entirely different. "And you don't mind that I found it?" Nira's eyes met his again. "I do not sense harm in you," she said softly. "If you had come here to take or to break, I would have known. But you seem only curious." Aaron gave a small, nervous smile. "Curiosity is something humans are very good at." To his surprise, Nero let out a quiet laugh. It was gentle, almost like the sound of flowing water. "So I have heard," she said. The air between them grew warmer, less tense. Aaron felt a strange comfort standing there with her, as if the bathhouse itself accepted his presence. Still, he knew he should be careful. This was not his place, and he did not want to ruin the peace that Nira clearly valued. "I should go," Aaron said slowly. "You've been kind to let me see this, but I don't want to cause trouble for you." Nero looked at him for a long moment, then gave a small nod. "Perhaps it is better that way, for now." Aaron turned back toward the stairs, but before stepping into the tunnel, he glanced back. Nero was still standing near the pool, her silver form glowing faintly in the mist. She did not look angry or afraid. Instead, her gaze followed him with quiet curiosity, as if she, too, was wondering why fate had brought a human into her hidden sanctuary. As Aaron climbed the steps, his thoughts were racing. He had come here by accident, but he knew deep inside that this was no ordinary discovery. He had seen something rare, something beautiful, and someone who might change the path of his life forever. The next few days felt unusually quiet for Aaron. He continued his work repairing energy lines and checking systems across the alien city, but his mind kept drifting back to the hidden bathhouse and to Nira. The glow of the crystals, the warmth of the water, and the way her silver skin shimmered in the mist stayed in his thoughts like a memory he could not set aside. At first, he told himself it was better not to return. After all, it was her sanctuary, not his. But curiosity and something deeper drew him back. One evening, when his shift ended early, he found his steps leading once more to the narrow opening in the tunnels. The stone stairs welcomed him with their soft silence, and the familiar warmth rose from below. When he stepped into the cavern again, the mist swirled gently, as if greeting him. He expected the chamber to be empty, but Nero was already there, sitting near one of the pools. She turned when she heard his footsteps. Her glowing eyes studied him, and then, to his relief, she gave a faint smile. "You came back," she said quietly. Aaron nodded. "I couldn't stay away. This place, it's unlike anything I've ever known. It feels alive." Nero motioned for him to sit across from her. The stone floor was warm, and the steam carried a calm rhythm. "Many who live above have forgotten such places exist," she said. "They rush through life, chasing trade, power, and noise. But here, time slows." Aaron rested his hands on his knees. "Humans are much the same," he admitted. "Our cities are full of noise too. We spend so much energy building and fighting for space, we forget about peace." Nira tilted her head, interested. "I have heard of humans, but most stories are told with caution. They say your kind is restless, always pushing, never satisfied." Aaron chuckled softly. "That's not wrong. But it's not all we are. We're also survivors. No matter how hard things get, we keep moving forward. Even if the path is broken, we find a way." Nira's eyes softened. "That explains much. You came here by accident, yet you stayed. You did not run when you saw me." Aaron shrugged lightly. "I was surprised, yes. But you didn't seem like someone I needed to fear. I felt safe here." For a while, they sat in silence, listening to the gentle dripping of water. Then Nero leaned closer, her voice low and thoughtful. "My people believe the pools remember the footsteps of those who enter. Every visitor leaves a part of their story in the water. Perhaps you, too, are meant to be remembered here." Aaron touched the edge of the pool with his fingers. "Maybe. I'd like to think so." Their talks grew easier as the minutes passed. Aaron spoke about his childhood on Earth, about the wide rivers and green hills he had left behind. He told her how strange and overwhelming the alien city had been when he first arrived, with its tall towers and bright skies filled with ships. Nero listened with quiet fascination. "Your world sounds alive in a different way," she said. "My people built this bathhouse because they feared losing connection to nature. The city above may be powerful, but here, we remember the old ways." Aaron smiled faintly. "It sounds like humans and your people are not so different. We both build cities that never sleep. We both forget what peace feels like until we find it again." A gentle laugh escaped her lips. "Perhaps you are right. Perhaps there is more in common than I imagined." The glow of the crystals reflected in her eyes as she studied him again. There was no suspicion now, only curiosity. She seemed to be learning as much about him as he was about her. After some time, Aaron stood, though he did not want to leave. "I should go. My work starts early tomorrow." Nira rose as well, her robes catching the mist. "You may return if you wish," she said, her tone calm but carrying a quiet warmth. "The bathhouse does not close its doors to those who show respect." Aaron felt a small spark of happiness at her words. He gave a nod. "Then I will come back." As he climbed the stairs again, the silence of the tunnels above felt different. He realized he was no longer just curious about the bathhouse itself. He wanted to know more about Nira, her people, her stories, and why fate had chosen for them to meet in this hidden place. What had begun as an accident was slowly becoming something he could not ignore. The bathhouse soon became more than just a secret place for Aaron. It turned into a quiet refuge from the heavy noise of the city above. Every few evenings, after finishing his repair work, he would slip into the tunnels and descend the hidden steps. Each time he came, Nira welcomed him with calm eyes and soft words. They spoke of many things: human dreams, alien traditions, and the meaning of peace. But peace, Aaron knew, was fragile. One morning, while repairing a damaged cable in the lower district, he overheard two patrol officers speaking in hushed tones. Their armor reflected the pale light of the city as they leaned close to each other. "There's something strange under the ground," one officer said. "Energy levels are spiking. Command wants us to check the tunnels." Aaron's hand froze on his tool. Energy levels. His mind immediately turned to the glowing crystals of the bathhouse. He forced himself to keep working, pretending not to hear, but his heart beat faster. Later that evening, when he returned to the bathhouse, he found Nira waiting as usual, sitting near one of the glowing pools. But there was worry in her expression, a faint tension in the way her hands rested on her knees. "You feel it too?" Aaron said quietly as he approached. Nira nodded slowly. "The crystals hum differently tonight. They sense disturbance. Someone is searching." Aaron sat beside her, lowering his voice. "The patrols are investigating. They think there's something hidden underground. If they find this place," he stopped, unable to finish the thought. Nira's eyes darkened, reflecting the glowing water. "They will not understand. They will see only resources: water to drain, crystals to mine. They will not see the spirit of this sanctuary." Aaron clenched his fists against the stone floor. "I can try to mislead them. I know the tunnels better than most. If they start asking me questions, I'll make sure they don't come this way." Nero looked at him in surprise. "You would risk that?" "Yes," Aaron said firmly. "This place matters. To you, and now to me too. It deserves to stay safe." For a long moment, Nero was silent. Then she placed her hand lightly against the surface of the pool, sending ripples across the water. "Your heart is brave," she said softly. "But be careful. Humans above serve rules before truth. If they suspect you, they will not be kind." Aaron gave a small nod. He knew she was right, but his decision was already made. In the days that followed, tension grew. Patrol units moved deeper into the tunnels, scanning walls, marking paths, and recording energy readings. Twice, Aaron was stopped by officers asking about strange signals. Each time, he pretended not to know, suggesting instead that the disturbance might be faulty cables or old machines left behind from early construction. He used his skill as a technician to mask the truth, rerouting power lines to hide the crystal hum. But the closer the patrols came, the more nervous Nero became. One evening, when Aaron entered the bathhouse, he found her pacing along the pools, her silver skin glowing faintly with worry. "They are hunting us," she said quickly. "The sanctuary may not stay hidden much longer." Aaron stepped forward. "Then we protect it? I'll do whatever it takes." Nira stopped and looked at him, her eyes shining like liquid light. "Why?" she asked. "This place is not yours. You could walk away and be safe. Why put yourself in danger?" Aaron thought for a moment, then spoke with quiet honesty. "Because it feels right. Because when I'm here, I remember that life can be more than machines and orders. And because you trust me with this secret, I won't break that trust." Her expression softened, though her worry did not disappear. "You are unlike the stories I have heard of humans," she whispered. Together, they worked through the night. Aaron showed her how to place small devices to bend the energy signals away from the bathhouse. Nira guided him through hidden corners of the cavern, teaching him where the crystals pulsed strongest. It was delicate work, blending human skill with alien wisdom. And in that shared struggle, their bond grew stronger. When dawn approached, they rested near the largest pool, both tired but determined. The glowing water reflected their faces side by side, two different beings united by the same purpose. The threat above had not yet passed, but in that quiet moment, they both felt something deeper than fear, a trust that neither of them wanted to lose. The bathhouse had become more than a secret now, it was a place of work, of planning, and of shared hope. For Aaron and Nira, every meeting carried both calm and urgency. The calm came from the gentle pools, the glowing crystals, and the soothing mist. The urgency came from the patrols above, who searched the tunnels more closely each day. Aaron returned whenever he could, slipping past checkpoints and finishing his duties quickly to make time for the hidden sanctuary. Each time, Nero was there, waiting for him. At first their talks had been filled with caution, but now their words carried trust and a quiet friendship that deepened with every visit. One evening, as Aaron entered the cavern, he found Nira kneeling beside a smaller pool, her hands gently moving across the water's surface. The ripples glowed faintly as if the pool was alive. She looked up when she heard him and smiled softly. "You came," she said. "I always will," Aaron replied, setting down his tool bag. "We need to make sure this place stays safe." Nero motioned for him to join her. He knelt beside her, and she explained what she had been doing. "The crystals respond to sound," she said. "If we guide their hum, it may confuse the patrol's machines. But I cannot do it alone." Aaron leaned closer, listening carefully as she hummed a low note. The crystal above them flickered, and the water rippled in rhythm. He was amazed. "You can shape their energy with your voice." Nira nodded. "My people learned long ago that the world listens if you know how to speak to it." Aaron smiled faintly. Then maybe I can add a little human skill to the mix. Together, they worked. Aaron adjusted small devices he had built from spare parts, placing them at the edges of the cavern. Nira used her voice and touch to guide the crystals, softening their glow so they would not draw attention. It was slow and careful work, but in the silence between tasks, they shared stories. Aaron told her of the wide rivers on Earth, where he had spent his childhood fishing with his grandfather. He described the smell of rain on soil, the way the sky turned golden at sunset, and the songs people sang around firelight. Nero listened with wide eyes. "Your world sounds full of life," she said. "My people once lived close to nature too, but the city above pulled many away. Few still remember the old ways." "And yet you remember," Aaron said gently. Her silver cheeks glowed faintly in the crystal light. "Because I chose to. The bathhouse keeps those memories alive. And now, I share them with you." The words carried warmth that Aaron felt deep inside. He realized then that this bond was not just about protecting a place, it was about protecting each other's stories, their hopes, and the fragile peace they had found. Later that night, after finishing their work, they sat together beside the largest pool. The mist curled softly around them, and the water glowed like a living flame. For a long time, neither spoke. The silence was not heavy, but gentle, as if the bathhouse itself approved of their quiet company. Finally, Nira broke the silence. "I never thought a human would stand beside me in this place," she admitted. "When I first saw you, I feared you would bring danger. But instead, you bring strength." Aaron looked at her, his voice steady. "And I never thought I would meet someone like you. I've fixed machines all my life, but this is the first time I feel like I'm helping protect something truly alive." Her eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment she seemed to search his face. "Then perhaps we are both learning," she said softly. Aaron gave a small nod. "Yes. Together." The sound of dripping water filled the space between them. The trust that had grown was no longer uncertain. It was strong, built from shared effort, quiet words, and a promise that neither wanted to break. Above them, the patrols continued their search, their boots echoing in tunnels that stretched like veins through the city. But deep below, in the mist and warmth of the subterranean bathhouse, two different beings had found a fragile bond, one that would carry them forward against the dangers that waited ahead. For the first time in many years, Aaron did not feel alone. And for the first time in many years, Nira felt hope that her sanctuary might survive, not just because of her people's traditions, but because a human had chosen to protect it with her. Days turned into weeks, and the search above grew tighter. Patrol units began marking entire tunnels as restricted zones, placing sensors on the walls to track unusual energy flows. The city leaders were determined to find the source of the strange signals. For Aaron, this was dangerous news. He had managed to distract officers before, blaming the disturbances on faulty cables or unstable machines, but now the pressure was stronger. One afternoon, as Aaron finished checking a damaged conduit, two officers stopped him. Their voices were sharp, and their eyes carried suspicion. "Technician Aaron," one said. "You've been spending much time in the lower tunnels. What exactly have you seen down there?" Aaron kept his voice steady. "Broken lines, old systems, and too many leaks. That's all." The second officer narrowed his eyes. "Strange. Sensors show strong readings near your work area. If you know something, now is the time to speak. Command will not be patient forever." Aaron forced a calm smile. "If I find anything unusual, I'll report it." The officers gave him a long, hard look before walking away. Only when their footsteps faded did Aaron allow himself to breathe deeply again. He knew they did not believe him. If he was not careful, they would follow him. That evening, Aaron rushed to the bathhouse. Nero was already there, her silver skin glowing faintly in the mist, her expression tense. "They are closing in," she said as he entered. "I know," Aaron replied, sitting beside her. "They questioned me today. They think I'm hiding something." Nero lowered her eyes to the glowing pool. "If they force you, what will you do?" Aaron hesitated. He had asked himself the same question many times. His duty as a technician was to obey his superiors, to report anything unusual in the tunnels. If he lied, he could lose his job, or worse, face punishment. But if he told the truth, the sanctuary would be destroyed. He looked at Nira, who waited silently for his answer. "I'll protect this place," he said finally. "Even if it costs me." Her eyes widened slightly, glowing like two small stars. "You would risk everything? For me? For this?" "For both," Aaron said firmly. "You trusted me with your secret. I can't betray that." Nira studied him for a long time, then nodded slowly. "You are brave, Aaron. But bravery walks close to danger. Promise me you will be careful." "I promise," he said, though he knew the path ahead would not be easy. The following days tested his resolve. The patrols brought in new scanning devices, ones that could sense deeper energy flows. One evening, Aaron was summoned by his supervisor, a tall alien with sharp features. "You know these tunnels better than most," the supervisor said. "The sensors show unusual activity underground. Take us there. Lead us to the source." Aaron's chest tightened. This was the moment he had feared. If he obeyed, the bathhouse would be discovered. If he refused, they would suspect him immediately. He forced himself to nod calmly. "Yes, I'll take you," he said. But he did not take them to the bathhouse. Instead, he guided them through a different path, toward old construction zones where machines still hummed weakly. He spoke with confidence, pointing out how the sensors might be reacting to leftover energy. He even opened a damaged conduit, letting sparks fly, to convince them it was the cause. The officers scanned the area and exchanged doubtful glances, but the distraction worked. For now. That night, Aaron returned to the bathhouse, weary but relieved. Nero was waiting, her face full of worry until she saw him. "You misled them," she said softly, almost in disbelief. "I had to," Aaron replied, sinking down beside her. "If I didn't, they would have found you. But it won't hold forever. They'll come again, and next time, I may not be able to trick them." Nero placed her hand gently on the surface of the pool. The ripples reflected across her silver skin. "You chose to protect us," she said. "That choice means more than you know." Aaron met her gaze. In that moment, he realized his decision had already tied him to this place and to her. Whatever happened next, his life was bound with the secret of the subterranean bathhouse. The patrols might tighten their net, the supervisors might grow suspicious, but Aaron had made his choice. And in Nira's eyes, he saw that it was the right one. The city above had grown quiet in the lower tunnels, but Aaron knew better than to trust the stillness. Patrols had not stopped, though their efforts seemed distracted by other construction problems and energy irregularities. For now, the bathhouse remained safe, hidden behind layers of tunnels and clever misdirection. Aaron climbed the familiar stone steps, his light cutting through the mist, and stepped into the warm glow of the bathhouse. Nira was already there, sitting beside the largest pool. Her silver skin reflected the crystal light, and the gentle mist curled around her like a protective veil. She looked up as he entered, her eyes soft but full of attention. "You came," she said quietly, her voice calm yet bright. "I always will," Aaron replied with a small smile. He set down his bag, relieved to leave the city's chaos behind, even if only for a few hours. For now, at least, the sanctuary is safe. Nira's lips curved in a faint smile. "Safe, thanks to you. But it is more than that. You have shown this place respect and understanding. That matters more than you think." Aaron knelt beside her, letting the warmth of the pool rise into his hands. "It feels like it belongs to both of us now," he said. "Not because I found it, but because you let me be part of it." Her eyes softened. "Perhaps the bathhouse chooses who can stay, just as it chooses who can protect it." The pools glowed brighter as they spoke, the mist shifting with a slow, steady rhythm. The cavern felt alive, not in a way that could harm, but in a way that held memory, peace, and promise. Aaron and Nira sat quietly for a long time, listening to the dripping water, feeling the steady pulse of the crystals beneath their hands. Finally, Nira broke the silence. "Do you know why I trust you?" she asked. Aaron shook his head slightly. "I think I understand, but tell me." "You could have left," she said. "You could have obeyed the patrols above and ignored this place. But you chose otherwise. You chose to protect what is hidden, to respect what is sacred, even at your own risk. That is why I trust you." Aaron looked at her, his chest swelling with quiet pride. "And I trust you," he said simply. "Not just because of what you've taught me, but because of who you are. You care for this place, and you care for others who might never understand it. That makes me want to do the same." The two of them sat in silence again, letting the words settle between them. Around the pools, the water shimmered, glowing softly, as if it knew that its guardians had been chosen and that the secret would be safe for now. In the days that followed, their routine continued. Aaron and Nero would meet after his shifts, sometimes working to adjust the crystals, other times just talking beside the pools. They shared stories, dreams, and quiet moments of laughter. Each day, their bond deepened not through grand gestures, but through trust, respect, and the gentle rhythm of shared responsibility. Aaron realized something important: this hidden sanctuary had become a place where two different worlds could meet. Humans and Nira's people had so little in common on the surface, yet here they could share understanding, friendship, and even a quiet affection that needed no words to define it fully. One evening, as the glow from the crystals filled the cavern, Nira touched the surface of a pool and sent ripples across the water. "The patrols may return one day," she said softly. "But for now, we have this. And perhaps that is enough." Aaron reached out and placed his hand beside hers on the water. "It is more than enough," he said. "We'll keep it safe, together." The cavern seemed to respond, the pools glowing a little brighter, the mist swirling gently as if blessing their promise. In that moment, both Aaron and Nira understood that the bathhouse was more than a hidden sanctuary. It was a symbol of their bond, proof that trust and care could grow even in the quietest, most unexpected places. As night fell, the city above continued in its restless pace, unaware of the glowing haven beneath their feet. But below, in the subterranean bathhouse, two beings, one human, one alien, had found peace, friendship, and a promise that neither would ever betray. And so, the secret remained, guarded not only by stone and crystal, but by the hearts of those who loved it.